Hello and welcome to the Star Citizen Beginner's Guide. Star Citizen is one of the most ambitious and complex games out there, and it can feel anywhere from intimidating to bewildering for even the most seasoned gamers to pick up. In this guide, I'll show you all the basics, so whether you're a complete beginner or someone who's played before and just wants a refresher, this video has got you covered. This guide will show you everything you need to learn to get started in the game, including basic gameplay and controls, how to get around the verse, which is the name for the Star Citizen universe, and gearing yourself up for some basic contracts. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to start your own adventure across the verse. So buckle up, grab your helmet, and let's go. First, you'll need to pick a game package and a starting ship if you haven't bought them already. You'll see browsing the website that there is a lot of choice due to the many playstyles in Star Citizen and various specialised ships to accommodate every niche. I would encourage you to start with a starter ship for 3 reasons. They're easy to use, which is ideal if you're a beginner. They aren't specialised, so they give access to a broad range of gameplay loops and professions. They're cheap. There's no need to spend a lot on a fancy ship because later on I'll show you how to make credits in game for you to earn every other ship. For $54, you can't really go wrong with the Aurora MR or the consolidated Outland Mustang. The Mustang is more suited to combat and some light trading. The Aurora offers more utility with its interior and a bed. If you'd like to spend a bit more, the Aegis Avenger Titan combines some of the best aspects of both the Aurora and the Mustang. It can do combat, freight, it has an interior and a bed that allows you to log in and out of almost any location. For the purpose of this video, I'll be using the Mustang because that's what I chose and I like ship combat. Once you have a ship package and you're in the main menu, click on the Persistent Universe, which is the main online multiplayer game. After creating your character, the first decision you need to make is home location. This is where you'll initially spawn in, where you'll have your inventory and ship delivered, and where you'll regenerate when you die. Each starting location is a hub city on one of the 4 planets in the Stanton system. Each planet is named after the mega corporation that owns it. The locations are New Babbage, a fully enclosed city on Microtech, a beautiful but very cold Earth-like planet which owes its climate to a terraforming accident. Orison, the city in the clouds, a network of floating platforms above the planet Crusader, a low-mass gas giant. Due to the low gravity and breathable atmosphere, this planet is a hub for shipbuilding. Lorville is the capital city and primary spaceport of the planet Hurston, owned by Hurston Dynamics, who are a family-run weapon manufacturer, and Area 18 is the main commercial hub for the ArcCorp planet. The entire planet is one large city, with commercial and industrial sectors around the equator and the residential areas at the poles. Each starting location has its pros and cons, but generally all have a load of local amenities, including shops where you can buy gear, like armour and weapons, and ship components, like systems and guns. Don't worry about this choice too much because I'll show you how to change your spawn location later on. I prefer starting on Crusader because it's close to another location called Grim Hex, where I usually like to base myself. Crusader also has a great ship component shop called Cousin Crow's that I like to stop at and upgrade my ship. Once you've made your choice, choose the best server for you and enter the game. On first login, you'll spawn in a bed in a hab. The first thing to do is get out of bed by holding the W key. Now you're up, let's look at the controls. You can move and look around using all the basic WASD FPS controls you'll have used countless times before. Press escape to go to options and then controls to get an overview of all the key bindings. Now, I know you're itching to get out there on an epic space adventure, but before you do, it's best to get familiar with a few things. Pressing F1 opens the Mobiglass, which is Star Citizen's answer to a smartphone. Starting on the home screen, you can see some basic information, such as how much cash you have and your health. Each of the tabs at the bottom represents a different app, starting from left to right. The comm link is used to communicate with other players, see who's on the server, and request landing or takeoff permission. The Vehicle Manager is where you can view and upgrade your ships and manage their loadout, such as swapping out different weapons or systems. Knickknacks is a list of all the assets you own and where they're stored. There is no accessing inventory between different places. Wherever you leave an item it will stay, so it's really useful to have this to help you keep track. Skyline is the map. You'll be using this to plot a course to wherever you want to go in the verse. MO Trader is for sending money to other players. Next is the Contract Manager. This is where you can accept all different kinds of contracts to earn credits. The more you complete contracts, the better your reputation will be, and the more options will open up to you. Be careful about which contract you accept in the personal tab, because many of these are illegal contracts and could land you with a crime stat or in jail. Vehicle maintenance is used to repair, refuel and rearm your ship. The journal is a record on various bits of information, and the Delphi tab tracks your reputation with the different individuals and groups in the game. You can close the Mobiglass by pressing F1. Next, let's look at the inventory. Press I to open your inventory. On the right hand side is your local inventory. This is everything which is stored at your current location. To the left is your personal inventory, which is everything your player is carrying. Right now it's empty as we aren't carrying anything, but that's about to change as we go shopping for some gear. To exit the room, walk over to the door where you'll see a small panel. To interact with it, hold F to open interaction mode. From here, you can move the mouse and open the door by left clicking. This is the primary way you interact with the world in Star Citizen, and we'll be using this a lot. Once you're outside, head towards the lift and take it to the lobby. You'll probably find you're walking quite slow. To increase your walking speed, simply scroll up on the mouse wheel and you'll start to walk and run faster. You can also hold Shift to sprint. Once at the lift, enter interaction mode and call the lift using the F key. Then get in the lift and head to the lobby. Now would be a good time to mention the way the starting locations are structured. Each is split into several districts. Usually there'll be a residential district with hubs where you'll log in, and there'll also be a hospital for you to regenerate at when you die. There'll be a commercial area with amenities, and there'll be a spaceport where you can collect your ships. To move between the different areas, you'll need to take some form of public transport, like a train or a shuttle. Everything in Star Citizen is physicalized, meaning there are no loading screens or teleporting. When it comes to finding your way around, it's best to treat it like real life by looking for signs and maps in the environment to help you. I'd recommend having a good explore and getting familiar with your surroundings before you move on. Once outside, just across from the hubs, there's a Stratus shopping centre. Inside, there's a handy shop called Kel2. Make your way there. There are two ways to buy items. First is the quick way, where you look at the item you want, open interaction mode, and click buy. A Mobiglass menu will come up, hit buy again, and it's yours. This method is good if you want to buy something quickly. In most cases, you'll be buying multiple things, so use the terminal instead. Head over to the shop terminal and interact with it. Don't buy too much at this point, because to be honest, you're going to die a lot. And whenever you die, you drop whatever is on you, and you either need to buy it again, or you need to recover your body. You will quickly run out of money if you buy too much expensive gear. I'd recommend buying a basic weapon like a pistol and some ammo to defend yourself, a chest piece to give you some carrying capacity, and a bit of food and drink to get by. This is all you really need to get going. To equip your new gear, press I to open the inventory. You'll see your gear on the right hand side. Simply drag the gear over to your character to equip it. You can also double click the item, but note that you must be wearing an undersuit before you can equip armour and weapons. Start by equipping the armour, the weapon, and then the magazines. You'll notice when you equip the armour, a new storage slot opens up. This is the storage capacity of your chest piece. In here you can store your spare ammo and some food. This chest piece has 4 slots for ammo, so let's right click and hit equip all. Now we have 1 mag loaded in our pistol and 4 ready to load. The rest of the ammo we can store in our chest piece for later. When we've used up all this ammo, we'll need to open our inventory and drag more ammo into the chest slots. We'll also just drop our food into the chest storage. If you already have a lot of items, you can enable filters to make finding things a bit easier. You can also enable item port helpers to help you see where things on your character are stored. You only need to eat and drink when the thirst and hunger indicators are getting low. They gradually decrease as you play, and the more physically demanding activities you do, the faster they'll decrease. To eat or drink, take off your helmet by opening the local inventory, press I, and then drag your helmet into the inventory. Then equip the consumable so it's in your hand by either dragging it there or right clicking equip. Close the inventory and then hold left click to consume it. Don't forget to put your helmet back on afterwards, or else you'll be in trouble next time you step into an airlock. Now you're suited and booted, let's find the shuttle and head out. You'll have to follow signs depending on where you are to find the nearest shuttle or train station. Once there, look for maps which tell you which stop you're at and where the shuttle will take you. When your transport arrives, get on. From here, we can head straight to the spaceport and fly off, but before we do that, I'm going to show you how to buy some basic upgrades for your ship. It's completely up to you if you want to upgrade your ship at this point. It's certainly not essential. If you just want to fly out, feel free to skip this section of the video. On Orison, there's a ship upgrade shop called Cousin Crow's on the Providence platform, which just happens to be the next stop on the shuttle. Once there, head over to Cousin Crow's and find the ship terminal. Here you can browse upgrades for your ship. Power plants provide power to your ship, mainly the engines, shields and weapons. Shields protect you from damage, coolers cool down overheating systems, mainly weapons. Quantum drives allow you to travel long distances between planets and moons, and you use weapons to blat other ships. My starter ship is the Mustang, which can carry 4 guns, but only starts out with 2. So I want to buy 2 more guns to fit to it. I have another video on all the different weapon types, but for simplicity in this guide, I just want laser cannons because they're good for PvE. If you want to know how many weapon slots your ship has and what size they are, you can see this from the Vehicle Manager tab in the Mobiglass we looked at earlier. Looking at my ship, there were 2 empty gun slots, both size 1, so that means I can buy 2 size 1 weapons and fit them. Using the shop in the same way we did earlier, I'll buy 2 size 1 laser cannons. We can't fit them to the ship yet because our ship isn't presently at this location. We'll need to get to the spaceport first, so let's head over there now. One key difference I should point out between ship equipment and personal equipment is that you don't lose your ship upgrades if your ship is destroyed. When you claim a new ship, it will come with the upgrades you've installed, so you don't need to worry about losing money here. Get back on the shuttle and make your way to the space station. In this case, it means getting off at the next stop. Make sure you look at signage to help you know where you need to get off. Using the lifts, head upstairs and run through until you see these terminals. This is an ASOP terminal, and this is where you can claim and summon your ship. Interact with it and you'll see a list of ships you're on. The options you have depend on what ship your state is in. If your ship is stored at the current location, you can hit retrieve and get it delivered to the platform. If your ship was destroyed or you left it somewhere, you'll have to claim a new one through insurance. This will take a varying amount of time to go through, depending on how expensive your ship is. Starter ships take less than a minute. You can also pay an expedite fee to get the ship delivered quicker. If you've just logged in for the very first time, you'll have the option to get the ship delivered to you for free. Have the ship delivered to your current location, but don't get it delivered to the pad yet if you have any upgrades you want to fit, as you can't do that with the ship out on the pad. To fit your upgrades, open the Vehicle Manager again, select your ship, and navigate to the slot you want to change. In this case, there are 2 empty slots, so I'm going to select laser cannon for each one, hit save changes, and exit. And now when I go back to the ASOP terminal and retrieve my ship, it will come equipped with those new weapons. Once you hit deliver, keep an eye out for which hangar or bay your ship is assigned to. Don't worry if you do forget, because it should pop up on your screen. Near every ASOP terminal should be more elevators which head to the hangars. Find one and go to whichever pad or hangar the ASOP terminal told you to. Now the moment you've all been waiting for, you get to fly your shiny new ship for the first time. Let's walk over and get aboard. Every ship's a bit different. Some ships have an interior that you can walk around in, whereas some ships just have a seat. Walk around your ship to find the entry point. There should be some visible prompts on your HUD to help with this. For my Mustang, it's the ladder to the left of the cockpit. Hold F to go into interaction mode and hit enter ship. Once you're inside sitting in the cockpit seat, hold U to turn the ship power on. Have a look at the ship's HUD. On the left hand side is a velocity indicator and speed limiter. The velocity indicator tells you how fast you're travelling, and the square is the speed limiter. Depending on where you set this, dictates your maximum speed. This is really useful when manoeuvring, such as landing and taking off. You can use the mouse wheel to increase or decrease the speed limiter. This bar is the charge of the afterburner. On the right hand side we have their weapons, as well as their ammo and charge status. We have altitude, our hydrogen and quantum fuel. Hydrogen fuel is used for general flying around, whereas quantum fuel is used for quantum travel. Below you'll have these MFDs, which display useful information. They're a bit different in every ship. You can use interaction mode to change them to your preference. Target status shows you information about the ship you're targeting, such as its shields. Heat shows your ship's heat profile. Self status shows the status of your ship. Weapons shows the status of weapons and weapon groups. Shields lets you manage your shields. On larger ships, you can prioritise power to different parts of the shield. Comms is mainly used for docking or undocking, and power is the power triangle, which lets you prioritise power to different systems. Finally, the radar shows other ships relative to your position. Before we can fly, we need to get these hangar doors open. There's 3 ways to do this. Firstly, it's through the Mobiglass, by going to Comms, Friends, and finding ATC. Second is through the ship. If you have one of your MFDs set to Comms, you should see a landing services option. The fastest and best ways to do this is the shortcut, which is Alt and N. Now that we're powered on and the doors are open, let's fly. Press I to activate the engines and use the mouse wheel to set your speed limiter to a sensible speed. Spacebar will strafe up and control will strafe down. Using the mouse pitches and yaws the ship into the right direction. W, A, S and D will strafe the ship forward, left, back and right respectively. Once you've cleared the hangar, take some time to fly around and get used to the controls. Be careful because some areas are prohibited. Also try not to crash, because if you die, you'll end up back in hospital and will need to get the train all the way back to the station and claim a new ship. The first thing we want to do is change our spawn location. You'll be dying a lot as you learn the ropes, and you don't want to wake up in your starting location every time, because it takes a long time to get back into space. You can set your new spawn point at any hospital. All starting areas have space stations orbiting above them, with hospitals, which are much more convenient spawn points. We're going to go to Referral station above Orison. To get there, let's plot a course. Press F2 to open the Mobiglass directly to the star map. Press the target reticule to zoom in on your current location. Referral station is just above where we are, so all I need to do is click it and hit set course. I can then close the Mobiglass with F1. Now press B to start up your quantum drive. There should be a marker on your HUD for the station. Align your ship to it. If you're still too close to ground level, you won't be able to jump because you need to exit the atmosphere first. Point your ship up into the sky and keep going up until the beacon changes colour. Make sure you max out your speed limiter here. You can also use your afterburner by holding shift, which will help you get out of the atmosphere faster. It also helps to store your landing gear by pressing N. Once you've left the atmosphere, align your ship again and wait for the quantum drive to be fully calibrated and spooled. When it stays ready, hold the B button and then you'll begin to travel. Note that some journeys need multiple waypoints and jumps, for example if there is a planet you need to hop around. So repeat this process for each waypoint until you arrive at your destination. To dock, first get yourself close to the station. You'll know you're close enough when the landing services option pops up in your comm panel. Request docking permission the same way we did for takeoff permission at Orison. I'll press Alt plus N. After you make your request, you'll get assigned a landing pad. Look out for a symbol on your HUD to identify it. Make your way to the landing spot. Press N to extend your landing gear and then press Ctrl to strafe down. It's a good idea to reduce your max speed again using the scroll wheel. Once you've set yourself down, press U to power off the ship and then hold Y to exit your seat. If your ship only has a seat, you'll exit straight into the hangar. If not, you'll be in your ship interior. While you're out and about in the verse, you'll use up fuel, ammo, and probably damage your ship. To resupply, open the Mobiglass and go to the Vehicle Maintenance tab. If you need any repairs, fuel or ammo, you'll be able to click Resupply. Bear in mind this does cost money and it will take a few seconds, so make sure you don't take off again before you've resupplied. As I've mentioned before, dying is very inconvenient, especially in Star Citizen, if you have to spawn in a starting location, as it takes ages to get back to the space centre and back up into space. To make dying a bit more palatable, we're going to change our spawn location. From the hangar, find the elevator and head up into the lobby. On the way past the ASOP terminals, it's a good idea to store your ship if you aren't going to use it again soon. Run past the ASOP terminals and explore the station. Once you've found the hospital, look for an insurance terminal. They usually have an insurance sign nearby to point to them. Interact with the terminal and follow the prompts to change your location. Apart from changing spawn points, hospitals have two other uses. If you're injured, you can use the patient check-in terminal. This will send you to a room with a medical bed where you can heal any injury. There's also a handy pharmacy terminal where you can buy med pens or a med gun. I'd recommend buying a few med pens and equipping one. Now that you've got the basics, you'll be eager to get out there and earn some credits. The best way to start is running contracts. The type of contract you want to do depends on your playstyle. There are different contracts for different playstyles and ships. I'd recommend taking any of the following, ranked from least risky to most risky. Box missions. This is usually travelling between a few locations, picking up and delivering some kind of cargo. Bounty missions. Ship-to-ship combat, where you travel to a target location and destroy an enemy ship. FPS missions. Usually a bunker or other site full of NPCs. You need to go and clear these out. These are great because you can also loot bodies afterwards and find valuable loot boxes. I'm going to run you through a basic box delivery mission, but just before we get into that, please going to ask you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, as it will support me in making more Star Citizen content going forwards. Go to the Contracts tab, Delivery, and find a contract. It will tell you where you need to pick up and drop off. The pickup location will also show up on your map as a marker. Once you've found the pickup location, set a route and travel there. Land near the location, which will probably be an outpost. Go inside and find the box. Pick up the box and pop it in your ship. Then simply travel to the delivery location and place the box where indicated. And just like that, we've made a few thousand Alpha UEC. Now, this was only a basic contract, so it would take quite a long time to make any real amount of money doing this. If you're anything like me, you want to earn loads of credits to go towards a better ship. So take a look at these videos, where I'll show you a few more things you need to know.